Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Ingalls. These are the 5 questions I would ask Mr. Kavanaugh for his Supreme Court nomination. First question I would ask him was, would you vote based on what the Constitution says or religion says? I ask this question because Constitution is the law of the land. You don't want your religious thoughts intervening, say when it comes to a hot topic like abortion or Roe v. Wade, which has been rumored that Trump is going to repeal with this Supreme Court pick. So I feel like he needs to separate his beliefs from what the Constitution says, what the law says. Question 2 is a national security question. I would ask him, when it comes to the government collecting data from the ordinary citizen, do you feel that it's okay to collect all the data in the case of national security? We've had this issue with the Patriot Act that Bush signed after 9/11, where the government can pretty much spy on anybody without a warrant, listen to their emails, phone calls, in the case of national security. So I would ask this question, is it constitutional to do this in the first place without a warrant? Would you put your national security over someone's private security? Government could be listening in on this, collecting the data from it without a warrant. And the police need a warrant to get into a house, so for privacy reasons. So I would ask him this question just based on, is the Constitution, in the case of this, override it? Question 3, it's a big one for a Supreme Court justice, is would you interpret the Constitution as it is written or as an evolving document? Constitution, obviously written in 1776, has gone through changes, has added amendments. I would ask this question just because something that the Founding Fathers interpreted in 1776 when they first signed it, did they mean this or did they mean that? So you gotta ask him about just his gray area, what his opinion might be on said gray areas. Constitution is in a way, one big gray area, depending on how you argue your case and depending on how you look at it. Do you interpret it as this is the law of the land, this is what was written, or do you say, well, this is what it says back then, but times have changed, and it's always an evolving document. So I'd ask him this question just based on how he thinks the Constitution is, whether he interprets it as written or whether he interprets it in these gray areas as in today. The 4th question I would ask him, you're on record saying the United States did not use torture when it came to getting information out of captured terrorists. How do you feel about waterboarding and other types of methods that are used to gain important knowledge about our enemy? I feel like this question might come up just given the past history. He said this to George W. Bush, and, is waterboarding legal? Are we taking our POWs from like Guantanamo Bay? Are they now technically under, U.S. constitutional rights, even though they're POWs? If in military court, how would it work? It's all just kind of a big area. I think I would ask him this question just based on almost like a human rights law. And if it's a human rights violation, would you let this go through? Are there other maybe types of methods that we could use that are less psychological per se? Because obviously waterboarding is psychological warfare. So I kind of would ask him this question just to see where he would kind of be on a human perspective, especially, again, when it comes to our national security. Do we need to really do this? Are there alternatives to it? Or do you agree with it? And I think that'd be a good question to ask, just so the American people know kind of where he stands when it comes to national security. And is it country first or is it law first? The 5th and final question I would ask him Does a child's life begin when they are conceived or when they have a heartbeat? Can a woman make the choice that they do not want this child for that child uh, wasn't even if that child wasn't even born yet? Again, this comes back to the Roe v. Wade decision. Is a child conceived at first before a heartbeat? When he's an egg, a fertile egg, does that mean now he has his rights? I would ask him this tough question just because, again, with religion, he is Catholic, and Catholics are known to be pro-life. They're not really big pro-choice people. They are, if you get pregnant, you have this baby no matter what. And it's been a hot topic with Planned Parenthood. So I would ask this question just based on where he kind of stands, especially, again, in the Roe v. Wade situation, which Trump has said he wants to repeal Roe v. Wade, even though, as people might agree or disagree with it, I don't see that happening, in my opinion, just because it would cause way too much controversy, and then you're spending millions upon millions of dollars trying to fight this law that eventually might be just nothing. So I think those are the 5 questions I would ask the nominee, and thank you for your time.